I grew up in this house. My parents bought this house. We moved here a couple months after I was born from Galveston. In 1962 is when they bought it. I've lived here a large portion of that, but when my mother passed, my wife and I bought the house in '94, and we've lived here ever since. What happened was, the storm went into South Texas the weekend before. So that Saturday night we went to bed. It was raining, but didn't really think much of it. About 2 o'clock in the morning, somebody from work called me for something, and the water was not in the house yet, but it was level with the front porch, which is about that far off the ground. It looked like the Mississippi River. I mean, it was running fast. And I knew at that point we were in trouble. And in less than a half hour, it was thigh high in the house. Seeing how quickly it was coming up and not knowing how high it was going to get, we needed to get out of here. My neighbor across the street has a second floor. We grabbed the dog, the cat, and a change of clothes and went across the street and got up in their attic, or upstairs room with them. Waited there till about, I want to say noon or 1 o'clock the next day before a boat finally came by and rescued us. We were yelling out of the window and they came down and got us. Things that were in totes, the water was up high, that were on counters, the water got up high enough where they floated off and tumped over. I had a violin that belonged to my great-grandfather. It was in one of those totes, and unfortunately it fell apart. I mean, that was the biggest thing for me. Of course, just about anything you can think of. Everything you work for, whatever, you end up dragging it out to the road and piling it up and waiting for them to come pick it up with a trash truck. We left out of here in such a hurry, I didn't turn power off or anything. I got back on, and the porch light, just like you see it, was on, and the air conditioner was still running. I had mustard back in the back bedroom that had floated around in the house. I mean, things floated around. That evening before the flood, my wife had done some laundry, and there were clothes that were folded and in the laundry basket on the coffee table. Well, that coffee table had floated around the living room, was way over the other side of the room when it settled back down. The basket still had the clothes in it. They were still folded and dry. Fortunately, we had flood insurance. There are a lot of folks that did not and are still battling. I mean, we're still battling. We're not in the house yet. The 27th of April will be 8 months. We're hoping to be within the next week or so back in the house. I purchased this and we moved back here. Moving back, just being on your own place is a big, there's something to be said for that, a little bit of comfort there. Well, people tell me a lot of times, oh, it was a blessing in disguise. Well, I would argue that point. However, if there is a silver lining, it is that this house was built in 1959. It did need some upgrades. The inside is like a brand new house. We upgraded all the plumbing, electrical. This house originally did not have central air heat. I mean, it's like a brand new home now. I'm one of how many thousands of people that went through this, and yeah, we have our days where, you think about it and it bums you out, but there's a whole bunch of us and we're coming back. It's not going to scare us off or anything. So.